Hey everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be looking at income for 2020 from a combination of the sales of KDP no content and low content books on Amazon, and also from this YouTube channel. Now the reason I'm doing this is not to tell you how well the business did in 2020, but to give you guys some idea of what's possible when starting out in creating an online business, and also for those that are already publishing books to see what's possible and what you can easily achieve with sort of consistent work. And also what I'm going to do is give you a general time frame of how long it took me to get to this present situation. And when it comes to things like YouTube, I think you'll be quite surprised. Now 2020 has been an unusual year to say the least, and has been a difficult year for a lot of people. But for many who have online businesses, it's actually been quite a good year, and that's because the buying patterns of people have changed significantly due to the whole lockdown house arrest thing. More and more people have become converts to purchasing online. As a consequence, a lot of people have found sales, whether you've got a YouTube channel, a Shopify store, you're selling on Amazon, eBay, or any other sort of online store, the sales of all of those have actually increased. So now is a pretty good time to get in if you're, on the fence about starting an online business. So hopefully this video will get you moving in the right direction and give you some motivation to get started. And I say, if you have already started, to really push through, get those books published, or even start a YouTube channel. So how we're going to break this down is I'll quickly go through the sales from this channel and how you can earn money from a YouTube channel, and then we'll look at the KDP books. So we'll go over to YouTube and see how much this channel earned in 2020. And as we can see here, the dollar amount is $8,330.32. Now this income comes from YouTube ads. There are a number of ways you can make money from a YouTube channel, the commonest being ads, affiliate sales, product sales, selling courses, which comes under the product sales really, and also sponsorships. Now this figure is from ads alone, and those are the ads that you normally see at the beginning of videos or during a video, where you get the option to skip the ads if you so wish. Now this channel got monetized at the beginning of May. It was actually May the 1st. So this is income, this is ad income over the last 8 months. And that has slowly increased over that period of time. And December, the income from ads was around about just under the $1,500 mark. So that's pretty good. Now, when it comes to product sales, as I said, a lot of people sell courses or products that they've created. And from this channel, you can see that I have this shop here, and it's where I sell things like keywords which are essential to getting your books found on Amazon. There's also some free resources on there, like lined paper, music manuscript paper, and also some keywords there which are up for free. So if you're interested in that sort of thing and getting your books ranked on Amazon, then go and check that out. Now the income from the Gumroad shop in 2020 was $4,042.31. Now I get approximately 62% of that, and that figure came to $2,506.23, which I'm very pleased about. Now also on this channel, if you have a look in the description, there's some links to products that I use. Now these products are keyword research tools which I use to get the keywords to rank my books on Amazon and make those sales, and also graphics packages, mainly on Creative Fabrica, which sell fantastic interiors and graphics that you can use to create the covers of your books. Now in 2020, my total income from affiliate sales was $6,134.38. And again, income from these affiliate sales and the product sales started to come in around about June last year. So the income from that has been over approximately 6 to 7 months. Now what I also want to do is mention Another type of product sale that I did have, and that was from merch, selling things like hoodies, t-shirts, pop sockets on Merch by Amazon. And the income from that was $271.28. Now, I haven't produced any t-shirts or anything like that, any merch, since beginning of 2018. So that income is pure passive income. Now, with YouTube, is it passive? I'd call it probably sort of semi-passive. You've got to really keep feeding the beast by producing regular videos, otherwise views just drop gradually over time, and obviously the income from a channel would also drop. So it's not pure passive income, you've still got to keep putting in that work. Now I'll quickly show you on this graph that we've got here, which shows the YouTube income, how that's sort of increased quite quickly until we get to about September, and has then leveled off. Same for the affiliate income, that sort of went up and then sort of dipped and then went back up again. That's just due to patterns in people's buying, and product sales have been pretty consistent. Now, the overall income from this channel in 2020 was $17,323.92. So that's income that I've had over the last 8 months, which I think you probably would agree is pretty good. I mean, you're starting from scratch. I mean, I started publishing videos at the start of the year. I set myself a challenge of producing a video a day, which I found pretty quickly was virtually impossible. Well, impossible for me. What it got me into, though, was that habit of creating a video regularly. Then, at the beginning of February, I decided to create videos on KDP publishing, so really to niche down, and that's when the views started to come in, that's when the subscriber numbers started to come in. And so since that time the subscriber numbers have gone up to about 15,000. I think it's currently around about 15,500, so that's not bad. I think over 11 months, I know some channels can, get hundreds of thousands of subscribers during that time, but pretty pleased with that, and I think it's brought in a pretty good income over that time. The plan over this next year is to continue producing videos, work on the quality, and maybe create a course sometime in 2021, because I know I get a lot of questions about that, and a lot of people asking if I'm going to produce one or if there's one available. So that's something to look at, but certainly going to be producing more content, working on the quality of the videos. I think it's important, to keep just improving things as you go along. So now we come to the KDP books, and let's have a look at income for December. Now remember, when you see this figure, we've got to take off the spend for ads. So in December, the income from the sales of books was $5,671.35, which is good. Sales did start to increase from October onwards, which is the last quarter, or Q4, and these obviously increased to this level. Now, for some reason, I can't get up the number of books that were sold in December. They seem to have changed the platform on the KDP reports beta, so I can't get that exact figure, but it looks like it's probably around about the 3,000 book mark that was sold. Now, I mentioned there is ad spend to take off, which was quite large in December, and that was $1,215.70. That's obviously higher because more people are shopping on Amazon. So the overall income from KDP in December was $4,455.65. Now, I've had a lot of messages in comments and personal messages from quite a lot of people telling me how, since they've started this year producing books, they have experienced pretty decent sales, and some have done really, really well, making a few $1,000s in December. Now, I'll tell you about my timeline in a moment when we come to the total sales in 2020, but I'll just quickly show you how the sales progressed over December. They were pretty consistent, the usual ups and downs. We have this sudden drop off on the 24th, 25th of December. That's because Amazon's not sending out many books on those days. But, the number of sales per day was probably just under 100. Again, pretty pleased about. So what does that mean for total income in 2020 from KDP book sales? Well, this came to a grand total of $33,192.47. Again, which I'm very pleased about. This is mostly passive income because the timeline for this was I started in around, I think it was August 2018, creating these books. Then I sort of learnt the process, created lots of books. In total, I think I've got around about 2,400 books on Amazon. Then I sort of developed a particular style of a book back in June 19 and created quite a few books from that style or using that style, and those books produce or create the most of my income. And in fact, 10 books in that style create the big bulk of the income. So really, from about June onwards, I'd say, was the time that those books created this amount that you can see today. Now, that doesn't mean you can, start on day one, create the books and expect to make this sort of amount. A lot of people are actually making more. Again, I get reports from people who are making, $7,000 a month selling these books, which is fantastic. And I really want you guys to succeed in this if this is something you've started to do. But this income that you see here is actually passive income. I didn't produce a huge number of books in 2020. Mainly because I was concentrating more on this YouTube channel, and the work that goes into a YouTube channel was a lot more than I actually thought it would ever be, which didn't give me as much time to produce these books. But the royalties from these books are a passive income. Most of it has come from work I did in 2019, and I always consider passive income to be the gold standard of income. Now, I noticed from my books that income did start to increase in May due to the whole lockdown, house arrest scenario. I don't know what's going to happen going forward. Hopefully, I'd like to see the sales continue to increase. But what I'm going to do in 2021 is definitely start to produce a lot more books. As I mentioned in a earlier video, I am doing this 30-day challenge in January where I'm going to be producing a book a day and hopefully continue that through January. Now, if you're starting out in this business or you're already in this business, I think it might be worthwhile doing something like that because it will get you into that habit of producing books regularly. Even if you don't produce a book a day, it's a book every other day, or even just one book a week, I think it's good just to get you into that habit that will then take you through 2021 and hopefully create more books, create more sales, create a side income, and even maybe, if this is what you want, create an income that replaces your full-time income. This is certainly what's happened to me, because in total for 2020, my income was $50,484.68. That includes KDP and that includes YouTube. And I say most of that has come from the latter half of the year, sort of from May, June onwards. That's really built up. And this has, during the last part of the year, replaced my full-time income, and hopefully will continue to do so through 2021. And that was my ultimate goal all along. So if it is your aim, then please do continue to make those books, really work at it, put in the commitment. I know sometimes at the start it can be a little bit frustrating, but you can do it if you persist with it and just commit to improving the quality of your books, learning about colour theory, learning about cover design, learning a platform so you can create your own bespoke interiors. And there's nothing really to stop you. When you hear people saying, oh, KD books are dead, they're not accepting books, they're refusing books, they're shutting down accounts, that goes on in every single online business. I've been hearing stuff like that since I really started creating businesses online, which was back in 2002. And even with YouTube, oh, it's too late to create a YouTube channel, it's too saturated, too many people do it, you can't earn any money. Well, look, here's proof that you can start from scratch and within a year be making an income. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give it a thumbs up, but make sure you do hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell. And until next time, goodbye.